All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rachak. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. I'm your brother, Rabbi Knapp, coming out with a lesson. Lord's will, this is edifying to the Lord's elect. I found this online on PBS NewsHour. It says, new book offers glimpse inside world of controversial tech firm Palantir and its CEO. Let's look into this.
Multi-million-dollar Palantir Technologies is one of the most secretive and powerful companies in Silicon Valley. It develops software that can quickly analyze massive amounts of data. It's used by government agencies, the military, and major corporations. A new book, The Philosopher in the Valley, Alex Karp, Palantir, and the Rise of the Surveillance State, gives readers
the rise of the surveillance state. If you don't know who Alex Karp is, let's look into him real quick. Let's look into him. Just a quick little Google search of Alex Karp, the small hat. The co-founder and chief executive officer of the software firm Palantir Technologies, Karp began his career investing in startup companies. Sure, he had this noble beginning, right? Fuck out of here. Alex Karp, you're a fool. Time magazine named him the Time 100 list of the world's most influential people. You should watch him. He's a fucking fool. He's an idiot. In 2025, his net worth exceeded 18 billion. Damn, what did you do to be worth 18 billion, Karp? Making him among the wealthiest 200 people in the world. Woo! Tells you in the book of Psalms 73. He's just a wicked demon. That's all he is. Don't envy people like this. Their time's almost over. We got to endure until the end. Psalm 73 and verse 8. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. Yeah. Actually, where did I want? Psalm 73 and 3, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Yeah, when you look at them, you see $18 billion. Imagine what Jay could do with $18 billion. That's the exact opposite of what Alex Karp is going to do with the money that you think, I'll probably get my favorite car, favorite house. He ain't doing that, man. He's not actually satisfied with money. 18 billion, and look at him. Look at him. Disgusting. 18, this dude is worth, look at this dude, man. $18 billion, man. Someone needs to smack this guy. Smack those, get your hair fixed. Get some clothes on. These people don't know what to do with the money, man, because it really don't belong to them. Okay, he belongs in a pit. In 2025, his net worth exceeded 18 billion. Shit. Never even heard of him. Pathetic. Anyways. So he's the CEO of Palantir. If you don't know what Palantir is, let's look it up. Palantir is probably somewhere. Nope. Let's look up Palantir. Alex Karp. Let's look up Palantir. Palantir. Jake don't like looking shit up, man. So I'm gonna help him out. I know what Palantir. Palantir Technologies, Inc. is an American publicly traded company that develops data integration and analytics platforms enabling government agencies. Read more. Let's see if Esau fucks with my tech tonight. Enabling government agencies, militaries, and corporations to combine and analyze data from multiple sources. Okay, so that's a quick synopsis, but let's see what this video says again.
a glimpse inside this controversial tech firm and its outspoken and colorful CEO. Ali Rogan spoke with the author, New York Times Magazine contributing writer Michael Steinberger.
Michael, thank you so much for joining us. Let's start with the most essential question. Who is Alex Karp and what is Palantir?
Alex Karp is the CEO and co-founder of Palantir, and Palantir is a technology firm that specializes in data analytics. It makes software that enables organizations to make faster, more efficient use of their own data. It's important to clear up some of the things that it doesn't store data, and it doesn't store data, and it doesn't sell data.
That's exactly what it does. Okay? You got to learn how these devils speak. So he's selling your data, it collects data, and it does everything he said it doesn't do.
It just enables organizations, and these are typically large organizations, to make better use of their own data.
Depending on who you talk to, Palantir is an amazing tool for data collection and efficiency, or it's very dangerous technology that has potential for great abuse.
That's exactly what it is. They tell you it right in front of your face. This is why it's so funny. This is how Amalek works. He tells you it right in front of your face. You don't have to believe it because he looks at you like a fucking dog. You're a damn... He calls you the goyim. He calls you this is what he calls the side this man thinks. Okay, so if you understood the scriptures, you would understand that. Not just the scriptures. It tells you that his houses shall continue forever. But it's all through the Spirit. The Lord will give you. You just seek the Lord, man. He'll give you all the wisdom that you need. Okay. And what you're going to learn is how these devils speak with that forked tongue.
Why is it that this company arouses such strong feelings on both sides?
Because both of those things are true. It enables lots of companies to make better use of the information they collect. It makes their businesses more efficient, their operations more efficient. But Palantir also works, for instance, with the CIA. And
Central Intelligence Agency. United States of Babylon.
A number of other clandestine services. Its technology is being used now by ICE to help facilitate.
Oh, ooh! So they can collect a lot of data. You got these reprobate base men that have a lot of technology, a lot of authority. Okay.
Facilitate deportations here in the United States. So it's used by a wide range of organizations.
And you wonder why they pop up in random cities, hopping out of cars with masks on their face. How they getting all this data to get you?
Most of the work it does is pretty benign. Some of it is quite laudable, but then there's other stuff that gives a lot of people.
Yeah, because they probably take a picture, put it in a data file, and get all types of information about you. They don't even need to ask you who you are and all of this crap. You're already being targeted through his algorithm.
Much of the book is a case study on who Alex Karp is, and you write about the fact that he is not a tech guy by training, by background, but he does...
Well, he's not a tech guy by training, by background. He just happens to be the $18 billion who runs a company that's like Palantir.
Seem to embody the dominant Silicon Valley ethos right now, with a lot of these companies making these very powerful technologies with little to no oversight, with great potential for misuse.
Little to no oversight. All this technology, all this power, just like it tells you in the book of Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not wherein, who is he? Only the wicked, if they were in power, and let's speak about it like a theoretical wicked people, right? What would the wicked do if they were in power? Wouldn't they deceive you? If they had the capability of running, you give a wicked person $18 billion, we'll say all the money. Let's say it controls all the money, all right? And all the news and everything. What would they, do you think they'd tell you the truth? Listen, we're the wicked, okay? Y'all are the righteous. No, that's not why they're here. They would lie, they would steal, they would kill, they would destroy. Anyways.
Use, but what they say is if we don't make them, these tools are going to fall into the hands of the bad guys. How do you think about that?
The tools are already in the hands of the bad guys. All left-hand technology is given to Amalek. Oh, I should say the wicked, Esau, because Amalek is just Esau's grandson. But with learning, with studying, you'll figure all these things out.
As it relates to Alex Karp.
Well, that has always been Karp's pitch. He has emphasized for over 20 years now that Palantir.
Steinberger, why don't you have a beard on your fucking face, man? Okay. Why? Just the way. See, the wicked would be completely contrary to the law, statutes, and commandments. Leviticus 19:27. Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard. Let's look at this word mar in Leviticus 19:27. It's not every single one, but there's a lot of people who destroyer, waster, corrupters, corruptly, to spoil, to ruin your beard. Mar, perish, spill, spoiler, utterly waste. It's going into shaving your beard. You're not supposed to do that. It's breaking a law of God. When you read 1 Kings, it tells you how to be a man. You're just a little boy. And the Lord is going to manifest that to you, that you're just boys.
It takes great care to guard privacy, and about protecting civil liberties. Basically, the idea has always been that its software can enable law enforcement to find the bad guys without pulling millions of innocent people.
Law enforcement to find so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans? You mean?
People into their dragnet. And so...
Oh, he said dragnet. I'm sorry if I'm destroying this video. I'm doing my best, I swear. Habakkuk. One. It says, Habakkuk 1 verse 16, therefore they sacrifice unto, actually let's start at 15. No, start at 14. Habakkuk 1 verse 14. And makest men as the fishes of the sea, as the creeping things that have no ruler over them. They take up all of them with the angle. They catch them in their net and gather them in their drag. Therefore, they rejoice and are glad. So that drag net he's talking about, they take them in their net. Let's look this up. Sometimes I can't explain it. Habakkuk 1 and 15 uses fishing imagery to describe the Babylonian conquest, showing how they capture nations like fish using hooks, individual capture, nets, shoal captures, the drag net, total sweep, rejoicing in their ruthless, insatiable greed for conquest, even though God allows it temporarily as a judgment, promising eventual downfall for such oppressive violence. So the Lord is allowing this devil to do what he's doing, giving him all the technology to fulfill his will. But in the end, he's going to destroy him. Okay, but the dragnet, the fish, that's talking about you. Okay, dragnet, total sweep. And it's all speaking in code, but if you understand the scriptures, man, you can, because this is what's true. Everything else is a lie. Okay. Habakkuk 1 verse 16. Therefore they sacrifice unto their net. And so instead of praying to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, through the name of his son, Yahushai, they sacrifice unto their net and burn incense unto their drag. So this dragnet that he's talking about, that's what he worships, because by them their portion is fat and their meat plenteous. Let's look this up. Habakkuk 1 verse 16 means the Babylonians, a brutal conquering force, were so arrogant and self-reliant that they offered sacrifices to their own military tools, nets, drag nets, weapons. And that's what Palantir is. They worship their like AI and shit. They worship that type of shit. They count their advances in technology to themselves. They actually worship themselves. They think they're God, as if they were gods, attributing their vast conquests and wealth to their own power, not God, thereby committing idolatry by prioritizing created might over the Creator, which is the Most High God Yahweh. Okay? This verse serves as a prophetic warning against self-idolatry. Let's look up this word, self-idolatry. Explain this to me, you demon. In the Bible, self-idolatry means making oneself the center of worship. That's what Esau does. Prioritizing personal desires, feelings, and achievements above God, which is a form of idolatry forbidden by the Ten Commandments in Exodus 20:3. You're not supposed to have any other God but the Most High. But these laws were given to the Israelites, not the Edomites. The Edomites, judgment, destruction, a curse, it was given to y'all. It's elevating self-reliance, self-worth, and self-gratification to the place of God, often disguised as self-discovery or authenticity, and it involves serving oneself rather than God, even in acts that appear to benefit others. Habakkuk 1 verse 17, shall they therefore empty their net and not spare continually to slay the nations? Yeah, should they? Of course not. Should they empty their net if they attack their military is allowing them to gather all these fish? Should they just let everyone free and go? No, because we understand in Isaiah 33:1. Let's grab that. So, this question is like, imagine yourself being in power. You gathered all these nations unto yourself. Would you just let them go after that? Of course you wouldn't. If you were the wicked, of course not. Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. So you'll cease to spoil if you let every fish out of your dragnet. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. So why would you do that? If you let these fish out, they're just gonna turn around and bite you. You would want to keep them captive.
His pitch essentially has always been trust me. But the reality is that Palantir doesn't police the use of its own technology. It is up to the client to decide how rigorously, for instance, they.
It's up to the client. You said ICE was one of your clients, so it's up to the client, ICE, and similar. I mean, they got Palantir being used in Haiti. Let's look that up. I might be lying. Is Palantir technology, Palantir being used in Haiti? Palantir's technology was primarily used in Haiti for humanitarian and disaster relief. So that means yes. Efforts following the devastating 2010 earthquake. Damn, that's a long time ago. 16 years ago. More recent, I just heard about Palantir within the last 3 or 4 years. More recently, its software has been used by U.S. government agencies in investigations related to the assassination of Haiti's former president. Come on, man. The devil is a liar. Historical use post-2010 earthquake. So this technology's been out. They've been using this shit for a while, man. Current humanitarian status. While the World Food Program, WFP, entered a partnership with Palantir in 2019 to use its Foundry software for general global humanitarian delivery, There is no recent specific public information available about ongoing current direct deployment of Palantir technology for widespread relief efforts within Haiti itself as of late 2025, early 2026, whatever.
Wish to enforce the privacy controls that the software is equipped with. And the concern has always been that technology this powerful can lend itself to abuse. And there have been instances of abuse. And
they're going to abuse the fuck out of everybody in the world with this technology because Esau is in control of it.
There are obviously a lot of concerns at the present moment about how it's being used, for instance, by the U.S. government, by different government agencies.
I want to press on that. You write in the
different government agencies, meaning Amalek.
Book about how Karp has defended his work with ICE. Palantir has had contracts with ICE for a number of years, and of course, ICE is coming under greater scrutiny these days due to some of its...
Greater scrutiny. ICE is fucking people up. I just did a video. He was kicking one with his right knee in his face. The dude's only 5'2", probably under 200 pounds. And you got some big white boy over him kicking, just kneeing him right in his face. But you know, I'm with ICE on that. That's what he get. He don't want to serve Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Knee him. I'm cool with that. He didn't put him to death. Okay, hopefully he can repent and still have a fight in his battle, and the Lord can redeem him. But one, you need to get your shit together, man. Because if the Lord give me power, I'm gonna do worse than that to you.
Actions. How would you think Karp would?
That might be one right there. That might be one. I don't know. He was wearing similar clothes to him.
Explain Palantir's work with ICE if you were asked about it today.
Well, he has defended Palantir's work with ICE.
This dude's an $18 billion there. He don't got no background in STEM. He's just one of those guys. And he's shaving his beard, violating Leviticus 19 and 27. He's a fool.
Yeah, his view on immigration has evolved during the...
his view on the so-called true national biblical identity of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, matching up with Amos 1 and 11, having that a perpetual hatred. Okay.
First Trump presidency, when Palantir's software was being used by ICE, he did not agree with Donald Trump's views on immigration. He's now singing a very different tune during the second Trump presidency. He believes that the 2024 election, among other things, signaled that basically Americans wanted to keep the demographics of the country the same way.
I'm sorry. So I'm confused on how Palantir is being used for political reasons.
Essentially empowered Trump to pursue this crackdown, and Karp it has made very clear that Palantir is happy to work with ICE to implement that policy. I have not spoken to him about what happened in Minneapolis, for instance, but he has kind of brushed aside the concerns that people have expressed, even people internally at Palantir, about the work that the company is doing with ICE.
Ooh, what kind of watch is that, man? $18 billion, man. You need to get your teeth fixed. You need to get your hair cut. You need to get... Come on, man. You look pathetic. You look horrible.
Your book paints a really detailed and intimate...
Oh, man. I'm laughing because you know when Jay get in power, look how great we're going to be. He's in power right now. $18 billion. This is what he looks like. He looks pathetic.
Picture of who he is as a person.
He looks poor.
His eccentricities. And one of the things I wanted to ask you about is the fact that his alma mater, which you share with him, Haverford College, will not invite him to speak. Why is he so obsessed with that?
Who? Hold on.
College will not invite him to speak.
Hold on. What college
is the fact that his alma mater, which you share with him, Haverford College, will not invite him.
Haverford? Hold on, I got to get the captions. Haverford College. Let's look that up. They won't allow him to speak. I gotta look this up. Get out of there. I don't care. My cat got a demon on him. Haverford College. Get off my. Let's see what this school looks like. Images. Images. Oh, okay, whatever. It's not giving me. Where is it? Pennsylvania. Okay. Haverford College. You graduated from there. You're an $18 billion there, and they don't even want you to come speak at their college. You're a disgrace to their school. Disgrace. Don't even come and speak here to our students and tell them they don't want anything to do with you. Pathetic. A shame. Disgusting. You're not going to be remembered for any of this. It tells you in Isaiah 14:20 to see the evildoers will never be renowned. Pathetic history. It's not even going to be known for nothing. Vanity. That's what you're going to be known for. Shit, nothing. Burn, fire. And that's what you get. That's what you
Invite him to speak. Why is he so obsessed with that?
Yeah, this is the
Otter, which you share with him, Haverford College, will not invite him to speak. Why is he so obsessed with that?
He even laughed at you, man.
I think with a lot of these guys, there's always something in their lives, someone not acknowledging their success, someone not giving them what they think they're due. And for much of the time,
Listen, Carp, you don't deserve shit. You deserve to go into slavery.
That I was reporting the book, it's kind of a jokey thing. I mean, he would kind of joke about it, but you knew that he was being serious. He was very irritated that Haverford wasn't inviting him to speak on campus at commencement or on any other occasion, despite the success he's had.
That's a good school, man. That's a good school. That's a good school, man. That's a good school, man. 18 billion. They don't even want you to speak. I actually heard you speak. You kept moving around in your chair. You kept moving around, doing all this dumb shit. Like you were high or something. Like you were on drugs. Like a crackhead. Like a fiend. You know, like you sniff methamphetamine or something like that.
Despite the success he's had leading Palantir. But it turned more serious after October 7th, after the October 7th massacre in Israel.
October 7th, massacre in Israel, okay.
When protests erupted on college campuses across the United States, including at Haverford. And he was very angry about what was happening on the Haverford campus, to the point that he said to me that he would never give a dime to the school.
Why didn't you give a dime before then? Let me see when you graduated, you fucking piece of shit. $18 billion. I wonder what you do give your money to. Harvard College. When did Alex Karp join? Alex Karp's probably watching this video right now. He joined circa 1985 to entering freshman year. You didn't give him any money since all that time? Graduated I was 1 year old then, a BA bachelor's in philosophy, and you don't know shit. 1989. Okay. So 1989. When did Alex Karp? He's full of shit. Oh yeah, that's why I didn't want to give you any money. What are you gonna do with all that money, fool? It said it takes 200. And hold on, you have to spend. Let's ask ChatGPT. This is what $18 billion looks like. Okay, just to conceptualize it. This is how cheap this nigga is. Come on, chat. Come on. Don't fuck with me. Yeah, he's fucking with me again. He's fucking with me again. This never happens. I never went into chat and it just started loading, and that never happened to me before. Okay. Oh, you gonna load me? How much money do you have to spend every single day in order to spend $1 billion? How much money do you have to spend every single day in order to spend $1 billion? Let's put in a lifetime. So, okay, I got a typo here. Let's do it. 80 years times 365.25 days equals 29,220 days. Divide 1 billion by that many days. So you have to spend $34,223 per day. Now you got to multiply that by 18 because he has $18 billion. To spend $1 billion in one lifetime, 80 years, you would have to spend $34,223 every single day for 80 years straight. No days off, no slowing down, every day until death. This nigga got $18 billion. He couldn't even give his school a dime, and he graduated in 1889. It's just to put it in perspective, it gave this emoji. That's $1,426 per hour, $23.77 per minute, 39 cents every second for your entire life. And that's just to use the billion, not earn it. That's just to use it. He has 18 of those. So all these numbers, you can multiply it by 18. And this piece of shit couldn't give $1 to a school that gave him the education to forward his life. If you want, I can show you what it looks like over 60 years, or what happens if you live 100 years, or how much Jeff Bezos could spend per day and never run out. Pathetic.
What's kind of a joking through line through much of the book turns quite serious towards the end.
Mm-hmm. Michael Steinberger, the new book is The Philosopher in the Valley. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Anyways, I just found that I don't want to share this video. It says Lucas Gage. It says anyone who opposes Jewish supremacy is Amalek. Let's look at this.
I have a very simple question for Chavez. Who is Amalek? Who is Amalek?
Oh, Amalek?
Yeah. And do you believe they should be destroyed? Who are they? And do you believe they should be destroyed?
I mean, I'm happy to have a Jewish theological debate, but I don't want to be rude. I'm not sure how much Hebrew you know, but most of the Mepharshim believe that Amalek is more of a concept in the age of Galus.
Are they people today?
No.
According to Netanyahu, they are. He referred to the Palestinian people.
You don't
as
speak
Amalek.
Hebrew. Hang on. You don't speak Hebrew, so you wouldn't know. I speak Hebrew. You can listen to the video yourself. He clearly says, watch the video yourself.
Netanyahu said Amalek.
Correct.
And he said
correct.
we should treat them like we treat Amalek in the
First of
Bible,
all,
which is to destroy all men, women,
First of
children,
all,
and animals.
We can't even hear it.
First of all, I'm going to give you all a Hebrew lesson. It's not Amalek, it's Amalek. All right, that first of all.
I'm sorry. I gotta pause it. I want to hear it all, man. With that, it's not Amalek. It's Amalek. Okay. And he put the two fingers up. Oh man, this is great. Let me rewind it.
First of all,
We can't even hear it.
First of all, I'm going to give you all a Hebrew lesson. It's not Amalek, it's Amalek. All right, that's first of all. Second of all, no, because you just sound stupid when you say it like that. The second way, the same way you said that there's a Golan.
By the way, if you don't know who Amalek is, according to him, Let's just type it in. Amalek. Genesis 36 and 12. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. Okay, so Esau's son was Eliphaz. So Eliphaz bare Amalek. Okay, so if your son bears you a son, that's your grandson. You understand? Genesis 36, verse 16. Duke Korah, Duke Gotham, and Duke Amalek. These are the dukes that came of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Adah. Okay, so the point of the matter is, all right, if you, just like Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, you know, it went from Abraham, okay, then his was really his second born, but it went to Isaac, then it went to Jacob, and then his sons, and all the way down to who Israel is today. All right. So it didn't, you know, it's supposed to go to your blessing's supposed to go to the firstborn of your firstborn son. Okay, but for some reason, Amalek is in a higher position than Esau today. He supplanted Esau's blessing. It's like it skipped a generation. Like that's how much the Lord actually hates Esau. He gave his blessing to his grandson Amalek. Esau is greatly despised by the Lord, and Amalek is to show you how much he actually hates you, Esau. That he gave your grandson, he skipped Eliphaz and gave it to Amalek. Okay, and that's why y'all are fighting right now, because your blessing has been supplanted by your grandson Amalek. And that's very funny. So the Lord, that's how funny the Lord made this comical, and we get to watch it, and we don't have to get involved in none of this shit. This is why we're trying to warn you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Let the Lord work. Let him do his work. He's doing a marvelous work. He is a great power. You get to sit back, just watch the news. You don't have to do anything but watch the news. Just watch it. Just watch it all come to pass. This should be your favorite show. You watched The Walking Dead. That shit had like 13 seasons. You watched Stranger Things. That shit had like 4 or 5 seasons. The Lord got more seasons than all of them, and his word is just getting more refined. You're starting to see the characters play out in this time. You're starting to see who is who. It's like getting more refined every single day. We're seeing it. Like, oh, wow, look at this. And then the climax of it all, that's the best part of the story. Okay? But anyways.
Brigade. There's no Golan Brigade. It's called Golani. So it'll just make it sound smarter.
Hold on, let me rewind it.
First of all, I'm going to give you all a Hebrew lesson. It's not Amalek. It's Amalek. All right? That's first of all. I don't care. Second of all, no, because you just sound stupid when you say it like that. The second way...
You sound very defensive.
The same way you said that there's a Golan Brigade. There's no Golan Brigade. It's called Golani. So it'll just make it sound smarter. The second thing is when Bibi said that, he said that Hamas is the equivalent of Amalek, which sure, if that's your theological, political justification, go for it. But again, I don't know how much of a theological debate you want to have, but almost all the Mefarshim, certainly in the Gemara as well, say that Amalek in the age of Gullus is not a practical people. No.
Why are you talking so fast? You sound like you're trying to lie about something, man. So Hamas clearly are Arabs, right? Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Simple Google search. Let's see what Google says. Are Hamas Arabs? Question mark. Yes! The members of Hamas are Arabs, specifically Palestinian Arabs. Okay, I'm not going to read it all. Are Arabs, Slovakia, are Arabs Ishmaelites? Yes! Arabs are traditionally considered descendants of Ishmael. So why is Netanyahu confusing the two?
So when every Israeli politician says that Amalek must be murdered and destroyed, who are they talking about?
Well, as I just said, when Bibi refers to Hamas, he's comparing them to the Amalek nation in the Bible.
But the thing is that the Bible says, and I do know the Bible in this regard, it says that Amalek, whatever the however you pronounce it. Okay, say it again.
Amalek.
Okay.
I'm a lake. Amalek. I'm a lake. That's not even how you pronounce it both ways. You speak Hebrew, and let's go there. Let's go there. People are full of shit. You know what? He's right. Amalek.
Strong's H, 6002. Amalek. Strong's H, 6002. Amalek.
That's what it says. He pronounced it right. Dweller in a valley. Amalek. That's exactly how you pronounce it, according to the Blue Letter Bible, which is probably not how you pronounce it. Let's look it up. I got this right here. Let's look it up in the Paleo Hebrew. I got that same sign right here. Amalek. And so this is the Paleo Hebrew. You gotta read left to right. Let's see if it's Amalek. Okay. So this right here would be like an I. Like this right here. I'm looking at it right here. 70. I think that's what that is. So I, and then I, ma, la, so that's I, ma, la, in this last character here is qua. Amalaka. Qua. This last is a qua. Amalakwa. And I'm just trying to translate to the Hebrew, the Paleo Hebrew. And if you look at it, it's the 70, and then 40, which is ma. And then la. Where's the la? The la is 30. Amalakwa, which is 100. So la is 30. So I is 70. Ma is 40. La is 30. in Kwa, Amalakwa, Alamakwa. Well, let's look at it over here. Amalakwa. Okay, Amalek, whatever. You got it. You should know.
Amalek should be utterly destroyed. Man, woman, child, and all the animals. Wipe them out. So that's not just Hamas. That's all the Palestinians. That's what he was referring to.
All right.
And not only that, other Israeli officials called for total extermination. Okay, this is not a moral people. This is not a moral nation. This nation is barbaric.
All right. That's the end of that.
Oh man, I love it. I love it, man. Anyways, that's Satan casting out Satan. That's Pinky and the Brain having an argument, man. Esau and Amalek fighting against each other. We don't need to fight in that shit, man. Let me grab that as a matter of fact in the book of Mark 3:23. Mark chapter 3. In verse number 23. Let me put the right letter. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. That's Esau fighting against Amalek. That's Satan against Satan. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And that's what you're starting to see pretty much more so and more so. Is Pinky and the Brain are fighting up against each other. And you're starting to see who Pinky is and you're starting to see who the Brain is. Am I done with that? Yes. But anyways, look at this. Argentina, they misspelled it. Firefighters battle raging wildfires in Patagonia's Chubut province. More wildfires. Let's see what this is. Shit's going on in the world, man. I don't see no fire. Oh, there it goes.
Yes. My feeling is that we are doing a lot based on the will of the neighbors. There are many families who have bought a totem but do not have a water pump to charge it. They do not have the equipment, so we are mainly providing assistance to homes, replacing water. But also, as recently happened here in Pedregoso, there are a few secondary fires that are rekindled by the change in the wind and, well, the brigades are already in the thick of it. The truth is that a lot of spontaneous organization by the people, purely by their will, creates a bit of chaos, but we are managing because the whole is very big. Let's say, the state is doing too little and this is too big. So we will have to take charge of this, people, because the people are saving the situation.
So all this natural land is being caught on fire. When it's all said and done, you're going to have Amalek move over there, put his houses up. He's going to be moving in there soon. So he causes these fires just like the Palisade fires. You know, they had this, you know, if you, I don't want to get too far into it because it's a lot of, you can't prove any of this shit. But just watch what happens in Argentina and see what happens later on, like Maui, for example. I wonder what's going on in Maui. Let's just look it up since I brought it up. What's going on? Did they rebuild the houses in Maui fire?
According to Maui County, a little more than a year later, they are joined by more than 100 families who are also back home. Every week, we're seeing a handful of homes rebuilt, families who are able to cross that finish line and return home, County of Maui Recovery Administrator John Smith said.
That's December 2nd, 2025. Let me look at some videos. That's August something. You don't really hear about it. I'm curious to see who's going to move back there. By the way, that matches up with Micah 2. 1 and 2. What the fuck is that gonna do to a wildfire, man? He got a tub full of water. Come on, man. Just one fire just starts randomly out of nowhere right there. Anyways, let's look up how many acres. I don't know how big this fire is, but I thought it was worth looking at because we know according to Genesis, the 25th chapter, Genesis, it might be 27. Genesis 27 in verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing? My father bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. So the dew of heaven from above. Some brothers brought out the direct energy weapons, okay, going into weather manipulation. Doing that because they cover fields. You know, Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Okay, and you can think that if Esau is in his blessing, we both have the dew of heaven. Okay, we both have the capability. I think that's John the 3rd chapter. Let me look it up real quick. When he says, what does he say? Unless it was given to you from heaven, KJV. I think it's John 3. Yeah, thought it was, but I haven't looked that up in a while. John 3, in verse number 27. John answered and said, A man can receive nothing except it be given him from heaven. So, just like Elijah rained down fire from heaven, you know, he asked the Lord for that, and he was able to rain down fire from heaven. When you read Revelation, the 13th chapter, Esau was able to do that same thing, but it wasn't like the same way Elijah did. Okay, he had to create a smith that blow off the coals in the fire. So he had to have somebody that had to separate the atom. But when it came to so showing you the difference between the left-hand side's blessing and the right-hand side's blessing when it comes to the dew of heaven. So Esau, we know that we're going to be able to manipulate the weather when it comes to the book of, I think Zechariah, but I forgot the chapter. I think it's Zechariah 11, but, and they who will not come to worship, they will withhold the rain, KJV. Zechariah 14 and 17. It says, And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem, now this is a prophecy, to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. So we're going to have capability to manipulate the weather. You don't want to come worship the King, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. We're going to withhold rain from going to your land. Okay, so the same thing's happening with Esau on the left-hand side. He got the capability to manipulate those things too, but it's on the left-hand side, meaning it's carnal. It's more, he gotta do all this science advances and stuff. The Lord's gonna give us more power than him. Okay, for example, when just like Moses. I'm gonna grab this in the book of Jude. Where it says, I forgot the precept, but it kind of says, let me see if Moses, let me control F it, I can't find it. Okay, Jude 1:9. No. Hold on. Can't find it. It says when Janus and Jambres, let me put up J-A. Yeah, 2 Timothy 3 verse 8. Now as Janus and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth. Men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith. Now when you look up Janus and Jambres, let's look this up real quick. 2 Timothy 3:8 means that just as Pharaoh's magicians, Janus and Jambres, opposed Moses with deceptive tricks, false teachers in the church, corrupt minds, resist truth and lead people astray with counterfeit spirituality, but their spiritual folly will eventually be exposed, revealing them as the worthless and rejected by God, a warning for Timothy to stay anchored in true scripture. So just like Janus and Jambres were fighting up against Moses, Moses was able to turn his rod into a serpent that gathered up all the serpents of Janus and Jambres, showing you that the right-hand side is stronger than the left. So just like his technology on the left-hand side is weaker than our technology, which is through the Spirit, it's more powerful. We're going to have direct ability to manipulate the weather, but not like Esau. That's not his blessing. He got a carnal way of accessing, the spiritual demon Satan to give him some form of access to the blessing, but it's carnal. It can be destroyed. It requires, you got to build it. The Lord will give you direct access to it. So his blessing is carnal. And he's using it. And he'll do things like this, just like I referenced the Palisade fires, so he can bring forth, try to get to steal your land and shit like that. At least 538 people killed in anti-government Iran protests. Let me see what this is.
And in tonight's deep dive, those massive protests in Iran turning violent. Human rights and activist groups say more than 500 people are dead, and more than 10,000 have been arrested amid the government's crackdown on people who are taking to the streets and demanding regime change in the Islamic country. My next guests are a couple who were political prisoners in Iran. Both of them were accused of...
Niggas demon regime change in Iran. He just did it in Venezuela. He ain't really do regime change, but it just goes to show you where his devil's mind's at.
Espionage and wrongfully imprisoned by the current regime in 2014. Yegi Razani was released more than a year before her husband Jason, who spent more than 500 days in captivity before he was released in 2016. Joining me now are the directors of press freedom initiatives at the Washington Post, Jason Rezaian, and Iranian American.
Anyways, 500 killed in protests. I'm gonna swing through duties.
A week since the U.S. captured Venezuela's president.
This one right here says that Venezuelan survivor says U.S. used sonic weapon during Maduro abduction.
Nicolas Maduro. American forces bombed Caracas and then raided the military complex where Maduro and his wife were staying. Venezuela says that at least 100 people were killed by the American forces as they were abducting Maduro. However, not one American soldier was killed, as per what the U.S. has now claimed. How did the U.S. pull off a raid of this kind? New reports say that they may have used a secret weapon to put Maduro's guards completely.
On the night of January 3rd, Venezuela's capital, Caracas, was attacked by the U.S. military. The Americans in and around Caracas, and then sent in choppers to abduct Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro. Maduro and his wife were sleeping at the Fuerte Tiuna military base, and the base was among the locations targeted by the American strikes. Then, Delta Force commandos were lowered into the compound, and they